So I just wanted to make like a quick video about the two different types of emotional terrorism stalking. And the first type is what the only one that gets addressed by anti-violence women's centers like I don't know, for instance, Philomena in Groningen, where I talked to, that they're actually the best one I talked to so far, broad and wide, I must say, but still, because at least they didn't just send me away with nothing. They sent me away with a phone number that was still nothing because that was Wellsted, and Wellsted didn't said that they couldn't help me. Neither to for neither of the things that I was asking help with. That was applications, because I struggle with that after head injury a lot with doing forms and applications and all that stuff, internet things. But it was only addressing straight women being harassed by her exes. I mean, their exes. Or I guess even maybe lesbians. I don't know. But always in the relationship. So that is a very different kind of stalking, and I think it's different lesbian stalking and straight stalking, by the way, because that those it's something that we talk about another time, because the circumstances of same-sex relationships come from immense abuse and repression historically. So it's relationships that have struggled to come out, that have not been able to be expressed in the open. So it is different, of course, if a woman tries to retrace another woman and recontacts her in ways that maybe are unconventional, because if she texted her, the stalking between them, for instance, wouldn't allow them to communicate. Like if I wanted to talk to my ex who died, there were times that there wasn't possibility to do it through the internet. It's just a fact when you are stalked by someone. So the second type of emotional terrorism stalking is the type that criminalize the targets because you don't want to get her back, but you want to criminalize her because she stole your wife or your girlfriend. From that point of the machist chauvinist point of view, stole, because nobody steals anybody. And if people are in close relationships, they obviously have their the responsibility to set the boundaries with other people, to let them know if they're married or anything before things happen. Before, not after. Before. And before feelings happen as well, which sometimes it's not always possible, but you have to be honest about it in respect also of your partner who is not present and trust you, because people out there cannot just stay stalking for 4 or 5 years because you had a psycho ex-husband or husband and they didn't know that you had a husband or that he was a psycho by the time they got in love with you and involved, just slightly involved. It's hard to not make some certain remarks, like when I said holy fucking shit. I'm not gonna say it again on YouTube because I think they will censor the video. It's forbidden to swear words, but like you say swear words when someone has done immense harm to you, and then you are a criminal. All of a sudden you are a terrorist and an IRA terrorist. And I mean, I don't even think that IRA people are necessarily terrorists, but I am not a IRA terrorist, full stop. And the immense slander when you are actually from the system, you're not protected from this the result of the fact that you're not protected from these anti-women violence center, because in my opinion they are violence centers because they send you away when you are victim of violence and you don't want it. So that is violent as well. It's immensely violent because the only persons, people, places where you can turn to, they are saying, no, you're not like the other ones. Your kind of violence is not as important. I'm not saying it's always not as important, but we cannot do it. We cannot do it. Oh, we don't do your case. And every time you get sent away because you are not harassed and stalked by a boyfriend, but by a group of husbands that do that together to women, as they often do, actually, like stalkers do it together. And in that community that I cannot, it's like Voldemort in Harry Potter. You cannot say their name because they are too powerful. And so I believe like that you shouldn't say their name. It's like when there is an illness that keeps going around. And in the olden days, you wouldn't tell the name of the illness. For instance, if you have yeast infection, you wouldn't mention that illness, the name of it, because it gives it power. And especially you wouldn't mention it in certain such occasions, like when you are cooking or when you are cleaning or when you are talking about something tender and delicate, because you cannot open up a space that feeds like cooking or cleans the space. Like you cannot throw something in there that would affect the energy in a negative way through that resonance of the name of the illness itself, even, you know. So you do like with Harry Potter in Voldemort. I just love Harry Potter. I'm very mainstream in that, I must say, because I think that woman has a gift for fairy tale, for storytelling that is just incredible. So I read all of them, and yeah, I like the idea of Voldemort because you don't say the name, and Voldemort in the real world is these people that are 6 million people, and they turn your friends into enemies, really, because when you get smear campaign, and you don't need to be Lisa Temple. I just make mention to her because I hope that some people out there will do a petition that it's worthwhile for her, because I'm rubbish at making petitions. You can see that. I'm doing my best just for my voice, and it's not for the glory, it's just for the truth. But really, that woman needs support, and she talks about Voldemort openly. And she's in jail, but she's innocent. So that she's from the first type of stalking, that was from an ex directly. But and also, like, she's involved in justice things, so she must know a lot of things that that put her in that position. Although I must say I would have also been in that position just by being the second type of stalked. And the second type, because okay, so Lisa, it's like from the first type, someone from an ex, but someone that got criminalized from an ex because she was not going to be with him anymore. So in that case, it is also the same, like that a straight woman can get stalked by an ex and his community, with his groups of husbands locally. And that's what they do, like locally in different places of the world. They portray that mentality of the straight couple, of the traditional family, of the normal, which is what Bert told me the very beginning when I recognized him. Like, it was the 26th of July. I thought it was the 23, but it was the 26th when his dog died. And, well, was killed by him. Put down. when we intervene on nature. And like in that case, it was the same, because she got criminalized and I got criminalized by someone. Well, I got criminalized because of being with someone that was married before and divorced because of me. Um, and someone that left someone and didn't want someone anymore. So in any case, when you get criminalized by these people, it's really happening through actually the authorities, because somehow they manage to make you unhearable from them. So in the I guess in the high levels of where this can happen, I mean, like in the courts, where they are already in the courts, like that woman is in the court, she's working with the courts. So maybe in that case, like she experiences, the lawyers might get threatened, um, and like not take her case, so that at the end she goes there and she doesn't have a lawyer, which is incredible, and everybody says it's incredible, but that's what's happening to her. And at the same time that it was happening to her, all I could find was a rent lawyer to protect me from these also criminal allegations, even though it was in a civil court. And the shocking thing was not being allowed to defend myself, to deposit my statement, because he said very clearly, my father showed me, where he says you have the responsibility to respond to every part of the trial, of the summons. You have to respond. It's your responsibility to. So my father did that for me, because I would never be able to do it. It's clear. I would have just answer point by point and make a 100 pages letter that would get dismissed before even entering the court. So my father did it for me with his lawyer, and I'm just so shocked that I couldn't use it. This beautiful defense, it's like the first real defense that my father wrote to me, for me, against stalking. I mean, even though he wasn't declaring, he wasn't openly declaring it, because his stake is that I must absolutely not talk about the past at the moment, because they are accusing me of being crazy. Not the men who do this to me and to my car and to my cats and to my life and to my family and to my children unborn, but but I am crazy. I'm crazy because I speak about it. I'm crazy because I recognize that for 4 years, it's actually 5, but it's 4 years that I really recognize it, because in the first year, when I was still in Glastonbury and then at the beginning in Tintagel, I didn't understand that that I was hacked online, because it didn't give me any sign. I didn't know. I mean, I just knew that people that I left in very good terms, hugging and let's see each other again, then disappeared. But because I didn't bother much with the internet to, I mean, I didn't notice, to be honest. At the beginning, I didn't know, except for the people with whom there were specific problems, and then I understood bit by bit. But by then it was already 2022, after the assault. After 6 months, there was the 17th of September 2022. That was like about 2 months, 6 months something after the assault. That was on 1st March 2022. There was the review, and yeah, I still didn't tell the police my name. And I was just, because I didn't get, until I had a lawyer, I didn't know how to get name protection in court. Like, I didn't get it here, even though I asked for it, which is a breach, an absolute breach of my privacy, because I have an absolute right to name protection from, that is very clear from the Italian government papers that I have. But they didn't give it to me. My name was declared aloud. That was also absolutely shocking, that they didn't respect that, because I remember after, when this was at a point going to court, and by that time I already not told my name, but and the lawyer of the counterparty would have known, so I was glad that I didn't tell my name. But yeah, they asked me, the police, if this goes to court, do you want name protection? So they do ask, because it's a right for everyone in the UK, if you have some particular reason. But in my case, I have a very, very strong reasons that are absolutely documented by 2 prefectures of the Italian government. So it's just really shocking that this happened, and that I was slandered in that disgusting, really revolting way. It was a modern witch hunt of lies, in which my writing was ridiculed, the creative one in a way, because it was used against me as a threat, and as it had in England for years before. And then 5 years before, in the trial of 12 March 2021, when still the landlord undertook to the court that he could not evict me legally, but they removed the injunctions that they couldn't stop me from using the kitchen and the bathroom. So in a way, they could still stop me from using it. But they evicted me altogether, and they also did it, they changed the lockers also to the room of another woman whose boyfriend was also renting, and giving me tips about how to do with this landlord that was doing these things, and these crazy people really that lived in the community that do coercive control with the people there, because it's it's there. If you don't fit in, they start going into your phone and hacking you and stalking you and vandalizing your car. I changed like 6 tires in Avalon Priory in only March that week, 6 tires in a week it was. I had all the receipts. The police wanted to take away my car because I got to Sainsbury, Bridgewater, with my, it's not funny at all. I mean, I was terrified because I hardly ate. I lost like 9 kilos in 3 weeks. And if it wasn't for Elizabeth, Laura Elizabeth, that was feeding me by secretly, and I asked her for witnessing, but she didn't. She was afraid. And she was like a Teal Swan therapist. Teal Swan is an incredible therapist that I advise to everyone. She's the only Western therapist I have faith in, that did this amazing book called The Completion Process, that I think it's very relevant to address here, because there is even discrimination in the kinds of stalking, and you send away some victims. But who is to say that lesbians who are victim of stalking are not just as vulnerable as the wives, the ex-wives that get stalked by the husbands that do not accept that new relationship being formed with another woman? Because it's absolutely terrifying. I mean, the fact that you love women doesn't mean that you are equipped to be beaten up like men do it to each other when they fight for girls. I don't fight for girls. So I'm a woman. So if that woman is still attached to someone that I find revolting, I don't want to be with her. It goes away immediately. It's not that I'm jealous or anything. I'm revolted. I don't want to see her again. Um, so I don't fight. It's not the same male response, maybe, But I remember the landlady saying, the landlady in the other house where I was assaulted, that I shared with my sibling with the yurt, because we only had one room and one yurt at the distance of an hour, so we had to share the shower. And I stayed mostly in the yurt, and she said, she was like, well, what did you... First, she was completely, oh no, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna come with you to the police, I work with social services. But then I made a mistake to tell her a bit the story, and the private stories behind in the best way I could. And yeah, there was texting, so I don't know what happened as well, because when there is online identity theft, you really think you are communicating to that person, even on a daily basis. When I was with my father for the trial, there was immense interference, because he was said, "What? You told me something else. What? But you don't have a lawyer." "Yes, no, I don't." And he was getting messages from another app from me saying different things. So it was all very confusing. And you can easily get to have conflicts because of it online. A lot of people, there is even studies that the majority of Italian couples fight on WhatsApp. It must be because Italians speak a lot, and Mediterranean in general. Mediterranean people fight more on the internet. Yes, so it's the reason why I was mentioning the completion process is by T.L. Swan, is that it helps you to come out of the duality and make peace with all parts of yourself, And I think that if people who worked in anti-violence centers for women just did the completion process themselves, then they would understand very clearly why victims of the husbands of the wives, I mean the ex-husbands of the wives, should be treated the same as the the wives or ex-girlfriends of the guys, because it's the same horrifying coercive control of every aspect of your life to make it stop functioning. And if you had injury on top of it, or some people have disabilities that prevent them from dealing with certain things like the internet, it's really hard, because everything functions through the internet. So your bank, your phone, your car, your insurance, your health provider, everything. So your accountant, everything. How can you survive without the internet nowadays? You can't. Like, all your life is a mess. You become homeless. You become jobless without internet. So they can make you really, really fragile when they want to criminalize you, either because you are an ex-wife that doesn't want them anymore, or the woman who stole that woman. Who got together with that ex-wife who changed. It's the same. And so next video next time.